Welcome, Mech Warriors! You're looking through the cockpit of a Crusader. This is the mech that was added in the very new DLC, MechWarrior 5 Rise of Rasalhague, and I'm your host, Git Gud Fox. Welcome to Fox's Quick Mech Rebuild Guides, where I'm going to take a mech, in this case, the standard Crusader, the Crusader 3R. I'm going to take it out and use it in its unmodified stock configuration. I'll tell you what the mech is about, and some of its weaknesses. Then I'll re-customize it, send it back into this exact mission, which is a difficulty 40 war zone, by the way, which I think will be a fair test of the Crusader's capabilities, and then we'll see what my redesign is capable of benefiting this machine. Anyways, if you want to see more content like this, suggest some mechs for me to do quick rebuilds of, and if you want to see more extensive builds, well, let me know what kind of mechs you'd like to see, where I will use the best weapons in the game in order to push the machine to its max. Anyways, this is the Crusader. This mech runs at 64 kilometers, which is very normal for a heavy mech, so nothing out of the ordinary there. You can see we are launching LRM-15s, which we have two. It comes with 2 tons of ammo. That's already an issue with this mech. It's definitely going to run out of ammo. And we also get 2 SRM-6s for up-close combat. However, it only has 1 ton of SRM ammo, so that means you'll definitely run out of ammo up close as well. You get 2 medium lasers and 2 machine guns with a ton of ammo. That's a lot of weapons. That's my first thought about this. And that means I'm going to pay for it in some way or another. How does this mech pay for it? Well, you already heard it doesn't have a lot of ammo. But the other issue, this mech has the default 10 heat sinks. 10 might sound like a lot, but let me tell you, 10 is the standard amount of heat sinks, so this mech is gonna get hot. Another thing I don't really care for this mech on is you don't have a lot of ammo, so I don't really feel that encouraged to launch missiles at small targets, even though it could be very beneficial to rapidly knock them out. Alright, we found ourselves our first enemy lands, and this is where we are probably gonna see the problems with the Crusader. And what problems would those be? Well, although I do have 2 LRM-15s, once this mech starts overheating, I'm not actually going to be able to fire the LRM-15s at their maximum volley. And that means I kind of don't have LRM-15s. I'm actually going to have more like 1 LRM-15, because that's the speed of fire I'm going to be reduced to. We're already up to 50% heat. Ooh, man, we just hit low 80s there. Okay, so we're at 95. I can no longer fire at my best speed, and I gotta wait for the mech to cool down to maybe 88-ish before I can launch a missile. So right now, the longer this fight goes on, the slower I can shoot. And this is really gonna start letting the team down. The Lance needs more firepower than a single LRM-15, but that's all I can muster right now. Let's knock this guy out real quick. Because if I fire a second one, well, let me show you. Oh, there I go, shutting down. And let me tell you, the lack of heat sinks also means when I power back up, you know, I'm not gonna, look, I can still only fire 1 volley of missiles at a time. This is the big problem with the Crusader. Yeah, double LRM-15s, they may do a lot of damage initially, but once your mech overheats and you have to slow down your shooting, what is the point of having 2 LRM-15s? If you ask me, not much point. I can't even do a whole lot up close either, because most of our close combat weapons are really hot as well. So let me try this up close. The SRM-6s, great damage, but also very hot. So you can see right there, one of the things we've got to fix is the heat issue. We're also down to just 205 missiles, which is also not very good. So here's another situation of what we don't want to see. We've got a bunch of vehicles here. Some of these are some thick boy vehicles. Look at this Partisan. This thing is going to eat up some missiles. We just got the ammo low ping. Not great. Let me try this one as well. The thing is, we got to take them out. I can't not destroy them. And this mech isn't super fast. It's not exactly slow, but it's not fast. And that means that I can't really close the distance that effectively. You could definitely redesign this mech into SRMs. Just gotta remember that 64 kilometers is not that fast. Like, the enemy gets to pummel you on the approach. All right, so we've got another lance coming in. Looks like it is almost a heavy lance. And that Locust has a death wish. That's perfectly fine, though. He's gonna distract them. We're gonna get in there. We are running out of ammo right this instant right here. 70 missiles remaining. 40 missiles remaining. We got maybe 1.5 volleys remaining, as well as the significant heat issues that we are going to be suffering from. So we are out of missiles, so now it's time to charge into close combat. So up close, we do have a lot of weapon systems, so we are pretty strong up close. I believe in the lore, this mech was envisioned to be more of a brawling mech, so I guess it was supposed to shoot missiles on the approach and then get into close combat. Let me see if I can get some rear damage in here. That looks really nasty. Look at that rear damage right there. There we go. Great damage there. Here we go. Into close combat. The machine guns, oh, taking some damage on the arms. The arms are a weak point on this mech, as most of its weapon systems are in the arms. Oh, went too aggressive on the medium lasers. Gonna get some free hits on me. Once again, though, even up close, we're having the same issue. I'm not able to attack as aggressively as I can. I can't use... Basically, we have so many weapons, and yet I can barely use them because we keep overheating. Our allies took a bit of a battering there, and I would say some of that is because I simply can't kill the enemies quick enough to provide that necessary support fire for our allies. Let's get to the mech lab. Alrighty, and so here is the Crusader. Handsome guy, isn't he? I really, really like the redesign. This is one of the unseen mechs, so although the Crusader is technically a very, very old design, I don't think it's ever been in a MechWarrior game specifically before, because there was a legal dispute over who got to depict the unseen mechs, and it just never made it, even though it's a very classic old design. Anyways, you can see the equipment right here. 2 LRM-15s, there is the LRM ammo, 2 each, 2 SRM-6s, 1 ton of SRM ammo in the center torso, 2 machine guns, the 1 ton of MG ammo, and then the 2 medium lasers. This is just too much. The Crusader is trying to do too many things. Let's get redesigning. Okay, and so this is our redesign. First thing we did, we took the LRMs, which are actually native to the arms, and move them to the torso, because we just don't need the arms for the flexibility on LRMs. And we also downgraded from 15 to 10. 10s are technically less space efficient. You get less missiles for the weight, but I didn't really see any other way we could do it. Also, you could also go for a full SRM build. One of the problems I have with that is you wouldn't have any long-range capability, and 64 kilometers is not fast enough to just get absolutely pummeled by the enemy on the approach. Plus, I kind of wanted a build that would still resemble the original intent of the Crusader. So the SRMs came out of the torso and went into the arms, and I also downgraded them from SRM 6s to 4s. Once again, that's going to make it a little bit cooler, a bit easier to use all of the weapons simultaneously. We kept the machine guns, and then we switched the medium lasers to flamers, and that's because this mech has plenty of long-range firepower. I want more close-range firepower, and the flamers are very powerful up close, especially with their ability to disable enemy mechs by making it harder for them to vent their heat. If they don't get shut down by the flamers, they often have trouble just fighting back, and the flamers do a lot of damage over time. As far as our support equipment goes, we have 3 tons of LRM ammos. We moved them to the leg, because if the leg goes, the mech is still mostly operational. If the ammo blows up in the torso, that's going to shear off half of your mech. We also have 1 ton of SRM ammo, so in this configuration, we should be able to attack with our LRMs very aggressively. We have about the same ammo for SRMs, but we did reduce the launchers, so I'm hoping that will be okay. You could certainly remove another heatsink and add in another ton of SRM ammo if that makes you feel a little more confident. We have 1 ton of machine gun ammo. That was the same. 1 ton is perfect for 2 machine guns, and we added 4 heatsinks to handle that heat load. Although it says our firepower is lower, our firepower will actually be higher because we will be able to fire our weapons on cooldown. Anyways, let's get in there. Oh, I also did bump up the armor a little bit. The armor has mainly been shaved off the head and the legs, but we are fully armored everywhere else. All right, so this is the same battle, and now that I have a lot more ammo, I feel very confident to just start launching missiles, even if some of them wind up missing, or if I lose a lock, etc. Like this right here. I've got an extra ton of ammo, and I'm not firing as many missiles per volley, so it doesn't bother me to attack way more aggressively. Right now, we are carrying over 1,000 missiles, about 1,200 right now. Now, you might think that this mech redesign is gonna cause the Crusader to take on more of a support role, but do not sleep on those close combat weapons. It's easy to forget how much damage fully firing machine guns, flamers, and SRMs can be. And look at the heat right there. Look, I am firing at my maximum speed, and we are looking really good still. Like, we are in the 30s. I'm going to be able to sustain this barrage throughout the entire fight without any problems whatsoever. In fact, we can also switch from long range to close combat very comfortably. So a great start so far. With the smaller launchers, I feel way better attacking these small vehicles. We are still over 1,000 missiles as well. That's what having a little bit of extra ammo does. It's gonna increase your confidence. So it looks like our enemies have decided to flip things around a little bit. The same kind of wave, but they're attacking from a different direction. And once again, I can just hold the button down and launch missiles at my maximum fire rate. No problem at all. And this is how we're going to actually do more damage, because there won't come a point where... Oh, why can't I... Okay, there we go. About to say, why can't I make some targets here? And I could just sit here and just start bombarding them. Full barrage. Shouldn't be an issue. A little bit of counter fire coming in from that cataphract. That's not a big deal, though. He's got center armor breach. And look at that, our heat is not going anywhere. I am just now starting to push into the 40s. And this sustained firepower is just absolutely beautiful. I love to see it. And like I said, if we want to, we are able to very easily switch into a close combat focus as well. The mech is falling apart due to the washing missiles. We can even, if we want to get a little extra firepower in, I can also throw in the SRMs. And so we finally hit the heat warning, but overall, look how quickly it's going to sink back down. A small gap in the fight, and we're going to look a lot better. All right, and here comes the battle with the last lads of mechs. We are going in with 610 missiles, which once again shows you just how many missiles we've fired. That is a lot of damage we've done. That's a lot of support fire, and it also shows you just how many more missiles we're capable of firing when we can shoot at our maximum rate instead of a slower rate due to overheating. My mech is also in way better condition right now. Here comes a counter barrage. And what we're gonna do is switch into close combat here, and I'll show you the effectiveness of our SR. Oh, beautiful. I didn't think we would take it out so quickly. All right, into close combat. As you can see, this is not a very quick advance, but once we get in there, our flamers and our SRMs and our machine guns all combined are going to just rip through these guys' armor. Easily defeated. I'm actually a little disappointed you didn't get to see how good the close combat was, but I think that shows you, perhaps more importantly, how downgrading from LRM 15s to LRM 10s with a better heat sinking capability is just going to give you so much more damage than you could overreaching for bigger missile launchers that cause you to overheat. You know what? Why don't we take out these Victors as well? Look, we got 2 Victors here. Let me show you some close combat capability. He's turning his back to me. I'm just going to stop right here, go full damage on his rear armor. Incredibly foolish idea from the Victor. He's already down. I'm going to chew through this mech's arm with ease right here. Focusing fire on the AC-20. The AC-20 is coming off him. And now he is nearly helpless. Easily defeated now. So we're actually going to defeat another 2 assault mechs. And I'm not even close to having an armor breach. Easily cored him out. That was a quick kill for an assault mech. You might not think it, but those machine guns and flamers, they do some damage. Alright, now what if we did want to use a little bit of LosTech? Now in the instant action, I can't use like literally everything and put it to the max with tier 5 equipment, but this is what you could do. So what we're doing here is upgrading the LRM-10s to LRM-10 with the Artemis system, and the reason for that is because it's more accurate. Let me tell you, I think it's way more valuable to fire a smaller number of accurate missiles rather than a whole buttload of missiles that aren't particularly accurate. And the missile launchers, they do weigh 1 ton more to accommodate the Artemis system. And all we gotta do is knock out these heat sinks. That's 4 heat sinks down, and then just replace them with 2 double heat sinks. So this is the same cooling capability, but half the weight, and that will easily accommodate the Artemis system. These missiles are going to be way more accurate, so you're going to launch the same number of missiles, which means just as much ammo consumption, just as much heat generation, but more damage. That's what matters. Whenever you launch an LRM-10 and it doesn't kill that helicopter, well, it is when it's got the Artemis system, and that means you won't need to launch a second volley of missiles. You will be more efficient, and remember, it's not just more damage, it means more damage for the same amount of ammo, more damage for the same amount of heat, and easily done with just some double heat sinks and some Artemis weapons, which, yes, would be difficult to come by earlier in the game, but not too bad later on. Anyways, that's what I would do for a simple semi-LosTech refit. Once again, you could go for a SRM build if you want to, but I think this mech is a lot of fun. It's got great flexibility. If the mech gets a little beat up, you are free to stand back and launch missiles. Gonna be great in a co-op atmosphere where you can attack from range or attack up close, and you're able to switch dynamically. Bombarding enemies at long range, you can actually out-bombard another mech that's a dedicated missile mech just because you're not going to overheat while they are. Or you can abuse them up close with devastating flamers, machine guns, and SRM-4s. You can switch back and forth in the same battle. This is definitely the flexible, tactical MechWarrior's redesign. Anyways, let me know what you think down below in the comments section. This is the standard Crusader, the Crusader 3R, a quick rebuild guide. If you want to see more quick rebuilds, let me know. And if you want to see full-scale breakdowns, highly edited, and taking the mech to the max with the best equipment in the game, let me know. Or any other questions you've got, any other guides you'd like to see about MechWarrior. I love this game, and I'm willing to make more content for you guys. So, tell me what you think down in the comments section. Until next time, see you around, MechWarriors. Remember that you don't have to be good to get good.